Hi, this is Tom from leanmusing.com, and we're back again to continue the Learning to See series where we're up to the first O in Tim Wood. And this first O, I guess you could go either way, but I like to go over processing first. So, like we've been doing in all the other videos, let's just take a second to kind of think about it for a second here and say, what is over processing, right? What do you think of when you hear the term over processing? And a lot of people, I think they kind of think about it the wrong way. They think about too much paperwork and too much writing and things like that. And while that's definitely over processing and that's a waste that you want to make sure that you chase out of your system, at the same time, I think there is a much more deadlier version of over processing, and I would call rework over processing. So typically, you don't even look at rework, or many companies don't look at rework as a waste because it's part of what they have to do. Sometimes this happens, and we're saving money by reworking it rather than throwing it out. And yeah, that might be true. You're saving money in terms of not wasting material that you've been working on. But if you really think about it, you're not. I mean, you're costing yourself a lot of money by not only interrupting your current process, whatever you're working on, to do some rework, but all that labor that went into it prior. Obviously, there's some non-standard process, non-standard work process going on where you're just not making it the way you should be, and that's kind of what you got to look at. It's unfortunate because a lot of companies don't even capture rework. I've worked at a few that it's like, yeah, we do some rework, and they're thinking of like the major stuff that gets scrapped out and then they come back into the system and then rework it. But you got to keep in mind there is a ton of internal rework that goes on. So let's say you're I don't know, grinding or sanding some piece of metal. Right, and you come out, you sand it, and it looks like, oh, we missed a spot, right? So we'll just send it through the sander again. And in doing so, it's like, no, well, yeah, that's what we had to do. Sometimes you got to send it through twice, and it is what it is, right? But that is rework. That is doubling your cycle time for the piece that you're making. You're doubling your labor, and in some cases much more than that, in order to fix something that wasn't done right the first time. And that's the key here, right? You're looking at stuff that just wasn't done right the first time, and by accepting it, you're kind of just accepting waste into your process. You're like, ah, yeah, this is normal operation. Sometimes it doesn't always work out, and that's how it goes. But you want to make sure that you're addressing the waste and you're addressing the root cause of the waste so that it doesn't happen again in the future. Right? That would be the whole purpose of looking at over processing. Is if you can get that out of your process, you can save a lot of money in terms of labor that you're putting through. You increase the velocity through your plant or whatever it is that you're making stuff in, and in doing so, you're gonna eventually, if you cut out enough of it, you're gonna start cutting down your lead time. You're gonna have better on-time delivery. I mean, it affects everything, and of course, the money spent in overtime, in everything that's backed up because you're working on stuff over and over and over again, and really, if you think about it, you're even wearing out your machines doing the same process over and over and over. And of course, they're made to do these processes, but you're speeding up the life cycles of them. I guess some of this stuff is intangibles, but you know what happens, right? And that's what you want to really make sure you're cutting out of your system as much as you can. So anyway, I think that covers us in rework, as my dog continues to bark at I don't know what. And next up, we'll be talking about overproduction. So catch us in the next video. It'll be out shortly, where we'll talk about the deadliest waste of them all.